This video we have is of a bucket repair. What happened was that we sold a bucket for a very demanding application, and this bucket has a straight edge on the bottom of it. And that edge wore out after just 1 or 2 months. It should wear out after maybe a year. So what caused this? We're a little concerned. Maybe we made it out of the wrong material. Let's take a look.
Caleb, let's go hydraulics. We're gonna see what's wrong with this cutting edge.
What kind of bucket is this?
They're using it as a cleanup bucket.
How long has it been in service?
1 to 2 months.
Oh, and it's that dirty already?
Oh yeah, it's about one of the harshest applications is steel mill. If it's outdoors, it's a high heat application, the paint is not gonna last very long. No. Take a look at this edge here compared to that edge.
Wait, I'm confused.
We cut this plate.
Beveled this and both sides?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because we want, on a bolt-on cutting edge,
Yeah.
we want them to be able to reverse it when one side wears down. Well, because it only took them a month to wear down this edge, there's no point in having them flip it around. We want to get it right, and we want to make it right for them. If you look at it from the side, you'll see a lot of wear and hasn't been in the field for very long. We thought that could possibly have been mixed up at some point, grabbed the wrong plate with a mild steel plate. So what we have is a hardness tester, and it works on the principle of pushing a ball down in at a set amount of force, and it gives us a reading on a scale. We can tell what the hardness of the material is. We're either cutting mild steel plate or an AR400 plate, so we'll be able to tell pretty quickly whether or not it is the incorrect material. So I've got it set to the Brunel scale. There's different hardness scales. The material report we get from our mill is in Brunel, so we're going to read it in Brunel. So we're looking for a reading in the range of 391, 400. It's going to be somewhere in close to that range, within 10, 20. It's a spring-loaded probe. Going to load the spring. Based on what I'm reading here, they're both AR plates. Let's compare it against a piece of mild steel just to make sure. 148. So it's quite a bit different. Based on our readings here, it's very much a hard plate. I know that they do want a new cutting edge. We might want to look at giving them a thicker edge.
So you might have noticed that the readings on the Brunel testing were a little bit lower than what the book was supposed to be saying. Now, that book is really just in theory. In practice, the readings would be a little bit lower based on how we prepped the surface. In this case, we just did some grinding, which would make it a bounce off appear a little bit softer due on to the geometry or the geography of it, of that surface area. The main thing is that we compared it against a mild steel. And when the mild steel was tested, it was significantly lower, less than half of the hardness testing. It's also important to note that AR400 is not a higher quality steel. It's just a different steel. It's just harder, but because it's harder, it's also more brittle. We offered in this case here to go to AR500. I don't think it's really a solution, but it doesn't really cost much to do it, so we might as well give it a try. An AR500 steel is very rare. I don't really run into it much. I'm surprised that anybody even stocked it here. We were able to get our hands, though, on a plate or two. Now, the good news is we had a spare cutting edge around here that we were able to fill in and then machine to what they need. We gave them a discount on it, and it got them up and running within a day or two. Everybody was happy about that. We were happy to get rid of it, and they were happy to get a deal. When we tested the AR500, it came through as a higher rating than the AR400 on the Brunel testing. This is good. And it came of what we would expect. We're more interested in the difference or the comparison as opposed to just the absolute value. It's unlikely that the steel mill has just supplied us inferior steel. We were most concerned, did we use the wrong steel when we cut the plate?
It's unusual. Very unexpected. We've supplied this bucket to the customer in the past, and they requested the same bucket with no change. We still don't have any firm answers. They didn't give us any details, but it was based on what we saw. There must have been a change to operation, procedure on the customer's end.
If you're in the market for an attachment, go to our website. You could see immediate pricing and availability for all of the rakes, rippers, couplers, and buckets, all in stock.
If you like this content and want to see more, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts.